Hi, this is Lacey.
What's going on, y'all? This is Terrell, and we are the Purdys.
And we want to talk to you about preparing for marriage.
Yes, marriage prep. Very, very important. Let's go.
Now, we prepare in life for so many different things. We prepare for, I know I like to prepare before I go shopping and cut my coupons out and everything. And people prepare for job interviews, but I don't think many people are as intentional when it comes to preparing for marriage.
I mean, I agree. For the most part, like my wife just said, we prepare for other things, college, our careers and all those things. But careers change. But when we talk about the way God has ordained marriage, your marriage partner, unless they pass away, is not supposed to change. So how much more important is it for us to make sure that we are diligently searching ourselves to make sure that we're the right person and that we know what to look for in the other person that we're looking to be joined with together in marriage, as well as what things should we be on the lookout for in a relationship or marriage as a whole.
So we want to briefly share with you our preparation process when we were single. As a single person, I wasn't initially intentional about being prepared. Of course, I was saved, gave my life to the Lord, was walking, living a life that was pleasing to Him to the best of my ability. And I just kind of let things happen in terms of, I'll just wait until I meet somebody, or maybe meet someone at church or what have you, and just see how things go, or maybe they didn't work out right for whatever reason. But I didn't have a set goal or plan in mind initially. But as I began to mature in the Lord, I understood that, when I read scripture, and I just thought about Esther's preparation and how Ruth was right in the right place at the right time, I began to think about my own preparation and how I would do that. So one thing that I did that was important was that I spent time with a lot of married women. So a lot of people talk about marriage and they want to be married, but then they're only hanging around single people. So I spent time around married people, learning just different things that they've shared with me about being a wife, even some of the conflicts they shared with me, and just how I thought about that, shifting from this single mindset to more of a married mindset, how I would respond in my marriage if there was a conflict. See, I grew up very independent, and so part of my preparation was learning how to first lean on God and to prepare myself to be able to depend on my husband. Allowing him to be there for me, allowing him to do different things for me, meant that I had to kind of pull that in a little bit. So that was all part of my preparation. Mentorship, like I said, hanging around married women, learning about marriage from my leaders, attending different seminars where they didn't only just talk about singleness, but they talked about what it meant to be married. For example, I remember dating, and I would just kind of would meet somebody, date them, go on a couple dates, and I knew the person wasn't the right one, but it was kind of passing time. You needed somebody to go to movies with, needed somebody to go out to eat with, but that was not God's plan. So I said, I'm going to be very intentional and stop wasting time, because this time that I'm hanging out with these people who aren't in the vision, I'm wasting time, and I could be missing my opportunity to prepare and to meet my husband. So as soon as I found out, which I could pretty much figure that out in the first date, that this person wasn't for me, I just...
First date?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
First date, second date, soon. I just cut them off real quick, because I wanted to make sure that I was available emotionally, physically for the one who God had for me. And when I started doing that, I would say I want to say that January 2012, I was talking to somebody on a online dating thing, kind of wasting time. And then I said, you know what? I figured that they weren't it, and I just kind of cut it off. And in March, I met my husband. So preparation pays off.
Yeah, yeah, big time. I mean, a lot of my preparation for learning how to just be in position to be married came when I ended up going to Hampton University and linking up with the Cullens and learning a lot by watching their marriage and relationship, as well as just being mentored by them and understanding some things about myself, as well as about what it actually takes to be in a relationship and to be married. And so during that time, I was in a couple different relationships, and the Cullens, they have this process for married couples who are on the rocks, as well as singles that want to be married. And so I was a part of that process for singles that want to be married, and understanding, number one, it's not just about meeting this other person and coming together, but it's about you getting closer to God and your relationship with God as well, and that person's relationship with God. And as you all grow closer to Him, you grow closer together. And so during that process, which took some time, I went through it again a couple of times, but it was tough because I was like, man, is this ever going to work out? You know, is this ever really going to happen for me? And I realized that, you know, I just had to keep trusting God that I was going through a process that was operating on His timing, and I was getting things in my system and learning some things I needed to learn during that time. And so some of it was just being prepared financially, just getting in position to where I would be able to provide for my wife, to where we would have everything that we need as far as a honeymoon and a wedding would be concerned, and not have to rely on others or to try to fund the beginning of our lives together with debt. And so just having that put away was an awesome blessing for us, just coming out the gate, getting married, and not having to worry about those types of things.
I'm not sure if y'all caught that. The way he kind of smoothed over that, but he was in position to pay for our wedding and our honeymoon because he prepared. So I thank God for that.
Praise God. God put me in position to be able to do that. But also just learning what I needed to learn as far as being a man and what manhood really looks like, and being responsible, being able to be responsible for someone other than myself. Neither one of us had any children coming into our marriage. And so, you know, we were primarily looking out for us. And so understanding what it is to really partner with someone else, come together, sacrifice for that other person, provide for that other person, put that other person's needs ahead of your own. These are all things that if you learn during your time of singleness will truly be beneficial to you in your marriage, because the things that you're doing now and you're practicing now, you're going to take those same examples, those same things that you're doing, character traits, into your marriage. And it's just going to be magnified because now you have someone else there who's there with you all the time, that's going to tell you about yourself, you know, but not in a hurtful way, but in a way that's going to be beneficial to help the marriage be more cohesive. And so those things are really, really important. There's a whole lot more I know that we could say on the topic as a whole. But one thing I did want to go over with you guys before we left you guys is just a little list. I call this my top 10 list, or our top 10 list of myths when it comes to what you're going to experience when you actually do get married. Okay? So the first one I want to cover, and these are in no particular order. The first one is, I will be completely fulfilled when I get married.
No. A marriage is going to involve the joining of two whole people. So in terms of emotional maturity, spiritual maturity, you definitely want to find, discover who you are, and also cultivate a strong relationship with God so you'll know who you are in Him. Because that man or that woman is not there to complete you or to be that missing piece. You want to come in whole. You want to come in just with your own identity so that you can come together and share with one another.
Yep. So yeah, that man or woman is not going to complete your life. It's just not realistic. Number 2, when I get married. Now I know this is probably so much more for the guys, but I'm gonna be having sex every day. Yay!
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, about that. The reality is that life happens. And especially if you all have goals and things that you want to accomplish, and just working and being a part of a church and being active. You're not gonna have time to just be doing it all the time, all day, every day, the way you may hope that thing would happen. That doesn't mean you can't have or won't have a fulfilling sex life. It just means don't expect to be doing that every day and every night. It just doesn't work that way. I know it's a blower.
So if you're getting married just for sex, of course you can have a very fulfilling sex life, praise God.
Man.
But that's not, marriage is just a culmination of so many different beautiful things that God has. Your relationship with one another, growing together. There's so many different things involved. And it's just not one dimensional at all. So
Yeah, never marry someone just for sex. That's going to get ugly real quick, real fast. So the third one, number 3, we'll spend a lot more time together. We're just going to be laying up with each other, talking about how cute you are and, just hanging out and all that kind of good stuff. No, you're not going to have the time to just be up underneath each other all the time. Again, same reason why you're not going to be able to have sex all day is because work. You have things to do.
You gotta go to work.
God has things for you to do that He's called you to, that He's expecting you to be responsible for and about, including taking care of your home, and all those other things. So you're not just going to be able to be up underneath each other all day, every day. So that's number 3. Number 4. My partner or my spouse is going to like everything that I do and agree with me all the time.
No.
I'm pretty sure most of you guys should know that. Number 5, my mate will always understand me and my emotions without me saying much to them at all. They'll just be in sync with me. We'll be so in tune that they'll just know me so well that I won't have to even tell them that, what they did hurt me.
You're going to learn each other every day. Every day you're going to learn about each other, what makes you tick, what makes you sad, what makes you happy. And even some of those things may change. So you're going to always learn each other on a daily basis. So,
but unless technology gets to the point where we get these implants and you're just going to know like other people's thoughts, this is not going to happen. You're always going to have communication.
Yes.
Even about real little things like folding towels, stuff like that. So that's important. Number 6, life will be so much easier once you get married. No, not at all. It's not going to be easier for you. If anything, again, you have to look at it as though you have more responsibility. There's more for you to do now. And so you have to take that into account in the process. Now, at the same time, you do have more help. So you do have more help. So now if you were cooking every night, guess what? You don't have to do that. Well, it kind of depends on if the other person can cook.
What kind of arrangements y'all got going on?
Yeah.
That just depends on your arrangements.
Yeah, thank God we can both cook.
Good arrangements.
So, number 7, you won't need self-control and discipline when you get married. Totally false. That's why it's so great for you to get it now while you're single. Practice these things. Even practice them at your local church and how you serve. Just being dependable, showing up when you're supposed to show up, being reliable, and showing discipline in your daily life. The better you do those things, the less conflict you're going to actually have in your marriage, especially if your mate is preparing themselves in a similar way, or if you're a little bit better in whichever areas, such as maybe time management, those types of things. You can come together and help your partner in those areas where they're deficient, but don't expect them to turn around, and on your timetable. It's not always going to happen that way. Everyone's different. It may take some people more time than others in different areas, but that's one thing that you'll always need is self-control and discipline, no matter what you do, just period.
So yeah, just practice those character traits now. So work on you. That's the best gift that you can give somebody, is you working on yourself.
Yep. Number 8, your struggles with sexual sin will be over. Not true. If you are struggling in the area of sexual sin, whether it comes to pornography or you're just used to, you were promiscuous or any of those things, there'll all still be temptations for you when you get married. And so you still have to learn how to put those things in check, and have accountability even with your spouse, and tell your spouse when you're having some issues or feeling weak or any of those types of things, and deal with that, because if not, it'll deal with you. All right, number 9, they look good, they love God, and attend church regularly. I know they must be the one.
No.
Right, so just being saved isn't enough. That's not going to work.
I'm a living witness. No.
Yeah, just being saved. Oh, he or she is in ministry. He or she, whatever. They can shout real good. All those things really don't matter. You really have to get to the heart of the matter, which is, what is that person's character, and how does that stand up over time as you see them deal with especially different problems and issues that they face in their own lives, because pressure bursts pipes, and you'll be able to see what's really going on beneath the surface.
Now check that fruit. Now, if you go in a store and you see that an apple got a hole in it, rotten, you ain't gonna pick that one. So you gotta be careful. You gotta judge them by the fruit that they bear. So that's character.
Yes, it is. And last but not least, number 10, the Spirit of the Lord will descend on me like a dove, and I will know that you're the one that I need to marry.
God told me that you're gonna be my husband.
God told you that? Well, I guess he was right.
The person that had the blue shoes on.
I didn't have on blue shoes.
I'm joking.
There were no blue
it doesn't
shoes.
work like that.
No. He's gonna let you choose ultimately. Now, in terms of, as you know, there's options in terms of selection, which you need to be prayerful about. That does not negate prayer. That does not negate you talking to other mentors that you may have in your lives about, hey, what do you think about this person? And kind of really doing your due diligence when it comes to a person that you may think you want to marry, and really being sure about that thing. But no, God's not just going to, well, at least it was not our experience. That guy came down and we were just like, oh, I saw an angel, and the angel told me that you're supposed to be my wife. Like, none of that happened. God a lot of times very practical. So just be really practical. Use what you're getting from this channel, as well as other sources and outlets, and really just allow God to bring it. Yeah, godly sources and outlets, and just allow God to just bring that all together, and really study and ask God for wisdom when it comes to identifying areas that you need to work on in yourself to prepare for marriage, as well as just being in a relationship with God. So that's all we have for you. Is there anything else you want to say?
Marriage is a great thing. It's a beautiful thing, very rewarding and fulfilling. But as you enter a marriage, you still have to adult. Okay.
Yep.
That is all.
Hey, I'm gonna let her have the last word on that. I agree 100%. So all the best in just your preparation for marriage. We're the Purdys. Peace out.